Hey, Jacob.
Oh, ja.
Oi. I don't know. I don't know if you missed anything. I was just explaining what I'm doing right now. But then we were also talking about the the embedded circle shape with the star glare on it and some of the references I was making. Anyway, how you doing, Jacob?
Good. Yeah. That like circle or oval within a circle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just thinking more about it. Like, there's a lot that we could do in terms of like. This probably doesn't speak much to like it being a good like icon. But just that like idea of a door. I don't know how much of this would kind of be clear in it, but like at least I can see it. Of this like that friction of local global. If you view it as like this door or like that Hobbit or like Bilbo's door, where like it's the threshold that you have to like get over in order to get to adventure, or like the potential of like opening up a door, like what's behind it, who knows, it could be anything.
Red pill. Boo.
And then just like in terms of marketing, like there's a lot of cool visualizations you could do with like what is behind the door. Like you have like stars or like a galaxy, or like Cthulhu. Like,
well, now that you've said it, you kind of have to. Yeah, no, that's cool. Swinging. If the door is also the portal, I could imagine it swinging, and each time it comes around, it's a different view or something.
Yeah, like you know those door cases or revolving door cases. Sorry, revolving bookcases. So I guess they are a door case.
Right. I was gonna say I don't think I've heard them said that way before, but by the term, yeah, I do know what you mean. Actually, revolving door cases. Yeah, that's funny. Sure.
Where like every
Addams Family.
Yeah, I was thinking like Scooby Doo.
Right.
Where like they just spin it.
Yeah, I think that does sound cool. Like, what's your feeling on that direction, Ben? With the more circle. Oh, this looks cool though.
Yeah.
What's your feeling around that one?
Is it the same one that we were already talking about?
Yeah.
I think it's rad. And I mean, I that's kind of a term I would use anyway. But rad is also somewhat specific for me because it has kind of an inherent coolness to it. Like it just sort of like I wouldn't mind seeing that on like rad to me is like the the platonic ideal of rad to me is actually a movie called Rad from the 80s. Have either of you seen that by chance?
No.
It's a BMX bike movie, and it's just great. I haven't seen it in a while, but I'm pretty sure it holds up just fine. Anyway, like rad is like almost has to be something that you could imagine on a BMX bike of something that's or like what's the oh it's actually the
Brink?
same movie. Never mind. What's that?
Brink or Airborne.
Is that a different movie, or are you asking me?
Oh no, these are movies. 1993, 1990s, something about there, with like rollerblades.
there's Gleaning the Cube, which is kind of definitely of that genre. But no, you should try and watch Rad sometime. It's fun. It's got this actress that you'll recognize from, I don't know what she's in, Saved by the Bell or something. I can't remember. So yeah, Jacob, you missed me explaining part of what was happening on the break, which was just right after our call. I just went through our chat to make sure I hadn't missed anything. You had mentioned the Star Trek interface. I think, is it ICARS? Is that how you say it?
I think it's LCARS.
LCARS, sorry. And I know what it. I had already. I didn't. When you mentioned it, I know what it looks like, but I hadn't seen it in a while. And when I looked at it again, it struck me pretty directly as like something to look at in the context. Like it was just like, oh yeah, shit, that would be fun to try and redraw within some of our book requirements. So that's what I'm doing now, is trying to draw.
I also sent. It's a much better example of that. Like, what would all this look like? What would like a network look like, written by someone in the past? It's by Charles Babbage.
Is that in the chat?
I sent it in an email.
Oh.
Mixing things up, Jacob.
Careful now.
We should create some sort of app to just kind of combine everything.
Only if it has its own inbox. Babbage is Lovelace, right? Same.
Yeah, same guy.
So were they? Are they like a direct reference to this era, or is it? Like my timelines aren't that great. Were they like going to Coco clubs together and stuff? No, I know they worked together, but I'm like in reference to Coco shipyards, entrepreneurial type enterprises. Were they contemporaneous with that biz, or?
I mean, it's 1850s.
I think I went too far with that middle one. Let me bring this back.
So maybe a little bit earlier.
Who's earlier than who? Is she earlier? Are they earlier than the Coco?
Coco Club is earlier.
Another thing I wanted. I'm not done here, but so let me save. I don't want to redo that. I thought two globes next to each other was kind of funny, like the network globe type. Because I've been thinking. One of the things I was thinking about on the break was emojis and like trying to start from emoji, and having to. I'm going to show you the design that has two of those network globe looking outline wireframe globes intertwined together in kind of a cool way. And the symbolism is kind of interesting in the sense of like different people have different, it's sort of like the interlocking of worldviews or different, like it actually kind of makes some sense. Like it just sort of seems like a form of union that I wouldn't mind seeing around. But, oh yeah, here, I'll just do it real quick. Sorry, that's what I meant to do. Which was just like, bonk. Sorry. It's sort of like romance between, everyone's got their own world. I think that it's almost like two heads or something. And then the mark that I'll show you here in a little bit is basically just a better version of this. Because there's a cool effect you can get if you try and do a blockchain type chain, like the sort of like the link icon chain out of globes. It can get kind of fun. You can see how these could be, if I worked on it for a little bit, these could be cleaned up to a point where these two actually go together, and then Union gets kind of sick. Let me just actually. Earth with an Earth moon. That sounds like something Ursula Le Guin would write. How am I gonna? I know there's an easy way to do this. Hold on. I just want to.
You could even make it a moon,
Do I have to make a?
but that would be a different vibe.
That's no moon.
Maybe a bit too much crypto.
Oh, ha.
But yeah,
There we
did you
go.
see the?
That's not quite what I want, but that's fine. Are you asking me if? Are you about to ask me if I've checked my email?
Yeah.
The answer is no. But I will. Is it from? Is it another Star Trek shot, or is it?
No, it's Babbage illustration.
Oh,
or
I'm
diagram.
sorry. You said that already.
And it definitely is like, well, even now it looks very futuristic.
Cripes. This do the math type on top was added. I wish they hadn't done that. I mean, it's kind of cool, but
Yeah, so like, I mean, the things that aren't him are pretty obvious. Like,
what's on your mind as you look at this in context of your mark, your site, or like what if you were running the show, like what would you zoom in on or extract or start trying to abstract, or like I see there's a lot here that is awesome. Like what do you? But I can't see it through your eyes. Like,
yeah, I mean, so this is kind of the union that I'd like to see built, where like
I'm gonna listen for a minute.
everyone's kind of connected. So like everyone's at least connected by one person, but you kind of have your own squad or circles, and like, you know.
I'm listening.
No, I mean that's kind of it. It's more just like some of the circles are pretty interesting. Like how one of them kind of has like the little numbered gears on the inside.
Yeah, to me it felt like like the leverage you get from interlocking gears nested together type thing. Like it was interesting that there was a lot of different sizes, but they all seemed to nest really cleanly, which is like an accomplishment. I mean, there is overlap, but it seems planned for or something. It's extremely orderly, but it also seems organic.
Yeah, like this is literally gears,
right,
and yet it seems very organic.
This is a cross section, right? Like you would be like you look up here. This is if you were looking at it, if you rotated the whole thing along the X, I guess, or sorry, what is that? The Z? I don't know.
Yeah, so this entire thing would be like, if you can imagine one, I guess, axis, like the entire thing would be like one adder. And so like to have multiple, so like that cross section would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 of these. So you have them stacked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the things that kind of like visually pop out to me are like that one on the left with the B, where it's like the little
This guy?
Yeah, like that one, and then there's other.
COVID boy. Sorry.
And then just the ones with the little dots and the arrows.
Dots and arrows. Like here?
A. Connected to B.
Ah. Cool.
Yeah. But that's probably just too, I don't know, it's a circle with arrows, so probably not gonna speak the right. But I guess we'll see.
Well, to me, it starts to, it kind of begs a dynamic system, like the edges between the circles, like I like how the I would almost call it like a dashed line or a dotted line within the circle implies like multiples, but also within this context it implies, I would say, maybe like people or entities within a group which has its own boundaries, but then that's connected to another one that has its own boundaries, and it's not especially elegant in the sense of a lot of these dots would be the same people, but it just starts to look like the kind of thing, like it's a fairly nice symbol that you could do this with CSS, and then you could just, like, along your header or something, build your own, and then it's not the kind of mark that you would necessarily, I mean, it's not going to like win a beauty contest as much as it would just feel really smart and like be respected as like a cool reference that has like its own aesthetic, that doesn't really care too much if it's a little funky. It's like, I wouldn't to me this is almost maybe like an anti-Saul Bass. This is like almost like a pure schematic copy. To me, like, this is like a logo that an engineer would come up with type thing. Which I would say are all compliments, especially for this audience, like that kind of vibe. So like, I think it's cool. I like this. I don't know where to. I mean, there's all sorts of things you could do with it. Like, we could make some circles bigger. We could start doing some nesting. I've got a bunch of stuff to try too that I'm gonna just, I don't know, like I've got just some sketches. I still want to like this is like too this went too far in a direction, but I think it's mostly just the color, and then I want to try and add just a little bit of oh, it's funny, I'm just gonna crop this. I want to show you this too. It's funny, when I looked at this, I was thinking that these shapes were like pillowy, like almost like embossed, or had a little bit of depth to them. When I sketched them, that's how I was rendering it in my mind. But now that I look at it, these are completely flat colors. I'm gonna try and do a little bit of pillowing anyway, just because it's cool, and I just want to see what I had in my mind. Did you guys come to any, like, one of the things we were talking about, Jacob, before you got here was like some useful feedback that Liam had on the process, where it would have been cool to have like feedback, or I'm sorry, like homework about the feedback. Like, if I had told you guys that you need to come back with certain opinions or certain decisions, that would have been useful. And I agree.
Well, the thing is, I don't know if it would 100% be useful, but I theorize that it could be. You know, I guess the only way you can do it is try it out, right? But
Well, yeah, even if it's not right, it certainly points in the right direction, I think, of something that I should be doing. I mean, there was a handful of different types of feedback that was part of it, and I think I'm just sort of filling dead space here, but partly to see if there's any other, like, we were just talking about an image that you sent on your break, and then did you have any other thoughts that, like, were you settling on anything else? I think you were feeling good about the coin one. Was there anything else? Like, if I just started focusing on that one almost exclusively, would you both be pretty jazzed? Or do we want to see a bunch of new stuff too that I have sketched out? Or
which coin one?
The one that you mentioned initially.
The oval in a circle.
With the kind of portal, or the kind of whatever, the doorway and the...
Yeah.
One, right?
I mean, that one has it seems has the most options in terms of, like, what we can do with it.
Yeah.
We would just need, like, probably just nice, clean would probably be almost the... Yeah, I mean, that's the one that probably hits the most of the, like, I guess the words
Yeah.
that we want.
Like, I don't know if that's like, I'm not experienced enough in making marks or anything. Like, is that something that you want to strive for, or does not really matter? Like, if it hits, like, the words or whatever.
By words, you mean the aspirational qualities that we set out at the beginning?
I mean, like, you know, I think it's basically, like, during this today, it's kind of been this evolution of thought and concepts and ideas. And that one kind of seems to hit, like, touch more of those. But what I'm saying is that, like, even the thing that a good mark is about, is it really about hitting those words, or hitting those, you know, cramming as many metaphors in as possible? Like, it's more of a question for you, Ben.
Well, boy, I mean, I would say it's so circumstantial. It's hard to necessarily prescribe what's ideal.
Yeah.
You know, if a founder team sees a mark that they love that didn't necessarily hit the plan, then that's okay. Whereas sticking to the keywords can be a really useful manner to make a decision if you're feeling vague or uncertain about where to take things. And that usually goes well too. Or, yeah, I don't know. Generally I don't think it matters what, like, if it hits certain check marks. Of course not. Like, that's not, I wouldn't put hitting rules over the feeling that anyone has about their decision. If someone's feeling certain, then that's great. If they're feeling uncertain, then let's use some rules to help them feel certain about it. But rules don't generally help people feel better. It mostly just helps it be done. So I'm usually looking for someone. I usually don't like being done until people are actually, like, excited about it, or, like, ready to use it publicly. You know, it's like, let's figure it out. This is cool. It looks like a engagement ring. But it's neat. I wonder if the sparkle should be coming from behind the door, like part of the mystery. I'm not sure if this is the right shape at all. I don't think it is, but since I have it here anyway, I'm just going with it.
Do you mean, like, if it was kind of masked behind it.
Yeah, 1 second. You'll see. Wait, what did I do wrong? So this, except better. I think we would have to do some sort of double ray thing, because if it's revealing light on one side, it would have to be revealing it on the other a little bit, which is okay. I just need to. I mean, my I guess my thinking on this, Mark, would you say, is this the best version of what we have of this idea, or is it the pure? Is it this one? It's probably this one, huh?
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah.
So let me be working from this then. So I think.
But I do kind of like the one where the interior section is dark, is like filled. I don't know, something really interesting in that, the contrast in that as well.
This looks so much like an eye to me that I dismissed it out of hand. But that doesn't. That could be something we resolve.
What about if you flip it 90 degrees as well?
Yeah, I mean, like, the star seems to limit what we can do with it.
It limits. It doesn't necessarily limit anything in as much as you don't have to keep it around for everything. Like, how many different ways has the Nike swoosh been rendered? 3D graphics, embroidered, whatever. You can do like an animation in Unity, and it's the kind of thing where it's like you step into all these worlds. It's like a gamer commercial. Who knows? It's these financiers going on adventures together, and then at the end of the commercial, it resolves maybe with the starburst like type thing. But that doesn't mean it's like you still get the circle in a circle simplicity, I think. The other thing that I want to try though is to just, I know that it's bothering you, and so I'm trying to roll with that, and that's what I had started to do with this little guy down here, but I'm going to do it in a different style, and this will be slightly more, I don't know, I mean, I could try it with blur. I don't know, it'll just be slightly more something both stylish and maybe generic. I also feel like when it's just the circle and circle, does it, I don't know, are you feeling pretty strong? Like, are you feeling, I'll do the work over here so you can just kind of look at it. How close to finish does that feel to you?
Good question. I don't know. I think it's, like, I think that could be close to finished, but it's hard to know if you're close to finish with this kind of work, I guess.
We can try it in context more. I should give you an SVG, or just, have you been drawing it and plugging it into comps at all, maybe?
I've been like playing with different things, like, but I don't know if any of them are necessarily better than the stuff you've done. Or even necessarily different.
Oh, so those little things are unions or sets.
Right.
Which is just, I guess, fun.
Which?
The parentheses, right?
Those little rectangles, or that little menu that you were just at.
These?
The color picker.
Shape modes.
Oh, those,
Yeah, I recognized them in one of the language, like the symbol languages that you'd shared. I was like, wait a minute, I know those symbols. Very interesting to see them show up there. I want this to be smaller and these lines to be... Wait, shit, I don't want to do that. Not quite precise, but we'll go with it. I don't know why the light source would be inverted, but it does look cool. And then, hold on, let me flip this, and then I'm gonna try drop shadow, or just like blur. Is this, and like regardless of rendering style preference, is this on point in terms of how the magic portal, like, is this ruining anything? You know?
I think it's the thing that's interesting for me is that, Jacob, you see this as like a door with a swivel in the middle, where the entrance is to the left and right, yeah? Whereas I see that kind of portal or that doorway as more of the kind of like intersection. Not necessarily that it makes physical sense as like a mechanical door,
Oh, like, yeah.
but more that it's like the overlap of the two circles is what creates this portal or doorway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the center would be more the part of the effect as opposed to the outer sides.
It's a bit of both to me, in the sense of, I would imagine, like, if this really was a magic portal, that it would start spinning really fast or something, and like the door becomes the portal, like the entry, the way through is the,
Yeah.
there'd be some paradox
Yeah.
or some shit. I don't know.
But I think one of the
I think
things
it-
that makes
I think
it
I
difficult is
agree
when
with you both, I think is what I mean.
when you put the effect on the outside as well, I think it makes it look more like an O as a mark, you know? Like a kind of serif style O.
Yeah. Which isn't ideal, I don't think.
Yeah.
There's no reason that we want that.
Yeah.
If we were calling out parentheses, that seems like a nice nerd reference, but none of these are delivering for me, especially. I still like the first one the best, with like the GTA vibe slightly. And it's almost like a David Rudnick design or something. It's just got a nice combination of simplicity and character. Like, it looks fairly confident, but it has like kind of nice messaging. I don't necessarily think it's finished or anything, but for me, it's at least worth coming back to as like a reference point. I'm thinking about, would we want to have, like, try and do some sort of space between them to...
I think then it might look even more like a serif O. I don't know. That's all I see now when I look at it. Is the
Oh, for that one, I definitely just see bananas.
You've always seen bananas.
Oh, no, just like the gradient, like the color.
All right.
I mean, because make it. I was just gonna say, if you make it yellow, it's not the worst thing, because then. Actually, let me see the banana emoji.
Monkeys come together. Oh, that reminds me. One of the emoji I thought was sort of interesting was the asteroid. I think there's an asteroid, isn't there? Anyway, just like impending death, bringing everyone together, like planetary disaster. If we did like a sunset plus a meteor, and then union, like, I don't know, let's support each other as we face global disaster. This reminds me.
I mean, it's World Peace and Ender's Game.
Right, nice. Oh, I did want to bring up. I like the stretched out globe look, like that. Those two bananas next to each other. If instead of bananas they were the edges of a globe.
Like if you flattened it, like squashed it vertically, kind of.
Yeah, like what you already have in the comps a bit, like what I'm about to show you, which is this stuff. This one, it's funny. He's actually using this pattern now on their. He wasn't at all into it. It's too nostalgic for him. But he did start using it as the Twitter background. It's not going to stick around though. But I have a bunch. Oh, here it is. This is what I wanted. So,
it's kind of funny. There's one there with a star as well in the middle.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's funny that for what it's worth, that shape came from just this Venn diagramming of, like, I thought even this was pretty cool. I'm just gonna grab these. But it was just masking it differently on the pattern that I was trying to build of interchained globes. I don't think that star is any better than the one I already have. Cool. Close that.
I think that that typeface is like very Y2K aesthetic, you know?
Why do you think I like it? I'm entering a phase, I think, where I really like. I'm starting to enjoy typefaces that have a lot of character to them. To me, that seems fairly youthful. Like, I don't think people. It just seems like we're kind of in a phase where people don't care. Or, like, I was using Hobo on a stream the other day, and I squished it, and both seemed great. It was just like, I don't know, a bit of a free-for-all, I think, at the moment.
I mean, I don't think this is going to be it. Because if you put them both in a circle.
If I put them both in a circle, you just want to see it? Yeah, cool.
So, like, that's going to be what it looks like on most people's, like, wallets.
On most people's what?
On people's wallets. So, like, if you have Union in Argent or Rainbow.
Well, that's okay, because it wouldn't be this. It would be a significant. I can draw two planets together in a way that reduces down to 16 by 16. This isn't actually all that hard, I don't think. You would do two lines. Yeah, you could definitely. I hear you, but I don't think that would actually expel this one from consideration. You would even get a little bit of that Mercury detailing, I think. Detailing vibe. Like, yeah, I don't think. I mean, to some degree, we started at black and white line work, so we have to.
That looks kind of cool.
We have to be somewhat open to, like, pixel art or the like.
There's something kind of cool with that setup right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Just selling mitosis.
Right. I can increase the effects a bit just by. I gotta do that twice. Oops. actually. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, close enough. Yeah. We could we could even get that middle bar to align.
If you could get it to like them to like perfectly line up and like look like properly pulling, like I don't know, could be something cool there.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a global biofuels web logo.
Let me see. I think that if you go by that thought process, then you'd find like a logo that has already been done, like for every single logo.
Yeah, I'm more just like it's not timeless. It doesn't really have the like.
There's no. I don't think you can say this isn't timeless because we can. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit with Liam here, where there's always going to be something to knock if you're just not feeling it, or for like if you. I don't know. Like this could be a Pan Am illustration of two planets next to each other that is just as minimal and reduced. There we got Mickey
Right,
Mouse.
It's like, more just like, why are there two planets?
But that could be explained too. Like that's just a lack of. I mean, do we really have to talk about why something called Union in crypto would need two planets, or it could have two planets as like an aspirational? I don't know. Like that's cool. I mean, if you're not into it, that's fine. But like, it seems like there's things there that aren't quite as ho hum as you seem to want to imply. I don't know. Seems cool. No big deal though. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, if it's like none of these. Let's just look at this for a second. CoinGecko. If we look at these versions of their logos, we can't. I would say it does not seem accurate to work backwards from here, where it's like these are good.
No, I would not say these are good. I wouldn't even say you should buy most of those.
Right, but the bar is such that if we have a logo that hits a lot of bases, or all of them, and then it like renders slightly awkwardly at this size, that's, to me, by virtue of the state of the art, like that's acceptable, if not less than ideal. Or if you look at how these things are rendering, I don't see how anything we've done so far wouldn't render at least this well. Like these are like, there's a good handful. Like this IOTA one is like fairly complex, and the ones that are fairly intricate look like the ones that are native to the space because they put in the effort of making sure it renders correctly. So more detail seems kind of better.
I think the other part as well is like we don't really need to worry about this stuff as much nowadays because most people have pretty high pixel density displays, so it's not even 16 by 16 when it's 16 by 16. It's like, 2 or 3 times more pixels.
Yeah, I was more referring to like why have two globes?
Yeah, but I can see why there might be.
Because like it doesn't make it more like.
I think it's representational of there being different worlds. Like we all live in the same simulation, as you say, but this isn't like a unified planet. And through something like it's aspirational. It's like, let's bring the world together, and we're showing that by showing that the world is not together. Like there's 2 of them or more. It's like, let's union this shit and make this like clear Earth symbol into duplicate and imply union because we get that part for free. It's like, that's what I mean. There's probably more words and better words, but I think it has those kinds of implications fairly implicitly built into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, both of y'all like it.
I don't necessarily
I've
like or
seen
dislike
it.
as much as it
I
has a
think,
bunch
yeah,
of
it's the
stuff going
same.
for
I
it.
think it's more that it's something that can be explored anyway.
Also, it's got emoji expression, which is good.
Well, no, so like the world has an emoji. Like two worlds. I don't know. I just get like
It's two emojis.
like there aren't two worlds. Like, yeah, your perspectives are different, but like there really aren't two worlds. It's like one world.
Dude, it's a metaphor. What are you talking about? Like there's not two circles embedded in each other. Like what? What?
Well, there
What?
isn't a union. So it was just like, well, like all of this is a metaphor. So like you have to kind of just run with metaphor. Like otherwise, like we can just have union as type. Like without the metaphor, we should just focus on something pretty or cool looking.
But I think it does have metaphor, though.
I don't
That's the
understand.
point.
You're endorsing. I don't. We should just stop discussing it because if it's just not worth going over if Jacob doesn't want it. Let's just move on. It's fine. We don't have to agree. It's okay. I think where it comes from is simply it was a reaction to the fact that it seems as though there's like it was like, well, this won't work in this context, and so I kind of needed to back up my take on this, which is that anything we come up with is going to work in that context. That can't be a criteria that we just throw at things to get them out of the picture. Like with any icon we come up with, we'll be able to reduce it down, generally speaking. Like we can do a photorealistic. I was trying to get one client to do a photorealistic clouds in the sky, and they were like, it won't work as a favicon. And I was like, of course it will. It'll be dope. It'll be a little square that's blue with like some faint white cloud thing going on, and it will be just as recognizable as all the other blurry little things, and it will be extremely cool because it'll be the first like little photo crypto thing. I don't know. I think that's where that tangent came from. But yeah, let's just move on from cellular mitosis planet.
Yeah, like that's the more than anything. It's just
because it doesn't happen in real life. So why would we ever?
Well, it did happen in real life once.
Okay, no, let's stop.
Oh no, that's how the moon got formed. But anyhow.
Well, there's also the theory that the Earth is alive and reproducing. I mean, there's a really interesting just a lecture that I heard the other day about how it's not coincidental that we're like what happens when an organism gives birth is that the organism uses up all of its resources in order to give life to the thing that it's reproducing. Like it's just a common pattern, and oftentimes the parent dies. So it seems like it may not be a coincidence that we're running up against this ecological disaster at the same time that we're potentially hitting peak on a lot of our resources, right at the same time that for the last like 50 years we've been sending like projectiles and spores out into space. Like we've essentially to some degree like hit our species pinnacle because we've actually kind of reproduced. Like at some point some of the stuff we've sent out is going to hit something, and who knows, like maybe it'll take root. But it's just an interesting, it's like
that's I can go on for a while on that one.
Well, that's cool. I like that stuff.
Oh, just because like we have the ability and like the resources and the energy to like and technology to basically feed everyone have an amazing life. Like there's no ecological or biological reasons that we don't. It's all just political.
Yeah, so it doesn't seem like I've had the conversation a little bit, and my approach on that is just they don't seem like those two thoughts don't seem mutually exclusive to me, in the sense of it could be that yes, we've hit some sort of natural limit and consequence era, but also that we've hit an era where we're able to innovate into new health and balance. It's like, yes, we can take care of ourselves now, but also it took everything
Oh,
to
no,
get
I'm
us
saying
here.
for the technology to where we could take care of ourselves is like 100 years old.
Yeah.
So like,
And 100 years isn't that long. So I think we're in agreement.
likely, not everything has to be an argument. But yeah,
Well, yeah, I mean,
so
it's like
there is no like,
on a planetary scale, 100 years is, I think, what I'm trying to say.
like people tend to think like, oh, we have too many people, like that's the reason people are starving, when in reality, like 100% not even that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm not a scarcity pundit or even necessarily
I don't know. I'm a sucker for stars on a background.
well, I'm about to deliver on that, so hold on. As it so happens, let's just try it. That needs to be smaller. No. There. That's what I was trying to do. Doesn't look like stars anymore, though. That's funny. It is cool.
No, it looks like what's that pattern? It's also a weird optical illusion. I don't know if it's an optical illusion or not.
When you, well, hold on, let me just try this again. Take two. I'm going to add some more white space. They don't need to be so close together. Excuse me. Wait, you know what I didn't do? Oh, I've been recording.
Hey, Leon.
Cool. Well, how long is it
Do you see what I mean by like we could do lots of different options of like what is coming out of the gate or the portal?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I'm just thinking stickers.
Did you share something, or are you speaking generally?
I'm just speaking generally. Because that's a very dev, like if we're a dev thing, that's probably like a thing that we will have to have, which is stickers.
Yeah.
Just like, is it a thing someone would put on their laptop?
Well, I would say I mean, if that's, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm with you. I think a lot of these would be ones that people would put on their laptop, to be honest. Some of this is just an exercise in, like, will. And forcing it through. Like, you gotta...
Can you try one using the center area as the like portal or doorway as well? Just curious to see.
Yeah, my bad.
Oh, okay.
This is looking very unintentionally patriotic, which I
Yeah. Kind of is.
which I don't like at all. It's triggering me for sure.
Yeah, I instantly thought like this is like a intergalactic fascist government.
Oof.
Not like fascist as in like, well, yes, obviously fascist bad, but just like, I don't know why it is. Most fascist governments like have really great fashion.
Yeah, it's like it implies something that would look good on a banner, like a giant banner behind a podium.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know
that's
if
so
that
fucked up.
pattern.
That's so
know
inspiring
if
and
that-
fucked up. In like, I know exactly what that means. And
Yeah, I don't know if that pattern there is it, but for some reason, I don't know what you guys think, but this using the inner area to me feels more natural for some reason. I don't know.
I mean, I'm thinking.
The game right now for me is, what do we do to these two embedded circles to make them feel more like yours, and just give them more character, more meaning. There's something going on here that we're all into. It seems like there's communion, agreement, vibe,
Like
all these good things. It's just that it's like too generic a little bit, and I'd say it doesn't. I think for people that are looking at it with our lens, like with the lenses that we've established, this has a like, it's like animated, and it's sort of like a galaxy. It's like parentheses, and it has all of this stuff built into it, and we just have to give people a little bit more of a leg up to get there with us. And I'm not quite. We're just kind of struggle sketching at this point to find some stuff, which is okay. Like, this is just how it goes. So
yeah.
Liam, to the point about the middle circle, yeah, I like that too. It was interesting. It felt a little more. To me, I'm still having a hard time not seeing iris or eyes, but also it did feel a little more like magical or portalish. So
I think it looks less like the eye when the two circles are like the same height. The two ellipses are the same height. Do you know? It looks like less of an eye in that case for me, where they're like right overlapping each other as well, like the Venn diagram thing.
I think I disagree, actually. It might be the opposite for me. What's up, Jacob? Sorry.
Oh, I was just like, the one on the right that's a bit too close to Observables logo.
That's okay.
Yeah, but this is only very early on as well. We're not going to just do it like that.
Yeah, I just meant like I just see the observable O. Whereas like the one, crap. Now I'm seeing a beach ball. But like the overlapping one is more like a union rather than an O, because union is overlapping circles.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's that 3D space thing that is. That's the way I see it. So it's like I can't stop seeing it that way.
This isn't quite what I wanted, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And then I don't know if if we tilt it, it's gonna start getting more Saturn, maybe. Oh, it looks like Quake. It's starting to look like the old Quake logo.
Yeah, it's a basketball. That one's less basketball. That's a basketball. That's less basketball.
Basketball? Less basketball. This doesn't look like anything really to me, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
That looks like the outdoor O. from Outdoor Magazine.
Oh, right. Do.
But that does look really nice and 3D.
What do?
Just the Outdoor O, like on my screen, how it's like from this distance. It
When
looks
it's
very
zoomed out.
when
it
it's
looks
zoomed out.
3D.
It looks very nice and clean in 3D.
Oh wait, that's not what we wanted. Actually, we're doing. Why are we doing? Help me out here. Catch me up in terms of like what have we learned? Why are we at this point? What we're looking at is like the language we've been using for a while now is like portal, and then sort of referencing the fact that it's like bananas in parentheses. But where this started was a minimal globe that we kept cutting away at, and then I can't even really see it as a flat globe anymore. Like it's really hard. And so
Yeah.
I'm trying to remind myself maybe of like where am I trying to get with this even? Like should I be trying to do like should I be like I can try more than 2 circles to get more of like the globe vibe back? I can stick to what we have now because it's maybe we still keep that even like maybe we get like detailed looking
close with the ones that were
Ugh. Did you finish that sentence?
No,
so like, no, but like we started with the globe, which was just a very minimalist globe, and then shaved away that middle line, and then it looked like a portal.
I think part of it was like the portal piece was like this aspirational thing, but Jacob also mentioned it was kind of like that's the doorway and that's the like what would you say, that's the limit on becoming part of it or something like that.
Well, that would be that makes it a threshold. So like,
yeah,
if you're safe in your house and then you have to open the door to go on an adventure, was kind of just my thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you open a door for it to be aspirational, like anything could be behind it. Because we're targeting developers who like, they have to think of what is behind the door. All we can do is kind of open the door for them.
And yeah, I think the thing about this as well is I could imagine it being like this dynamic mark as well, as we kind of mentioned. I think it just feels the most right out of anything. Like it feels pretty close to something really, really strong.
Like the 2 bananas.
Stop calling them bananas, first of all.
Well, like, there's so many different things. It's hard to like the 2 parentheses or the 2 set brackets.
The fact that it's a union and a set as well, and the portal and the
yeah, it's just How do you pick line thickness?
Because it's kind of intuition and by eye, I guess.
Well, you'd be going for yeah, definitely intuition. I would say towards like cause you're looking for something like a visual density. Like if you squint your eyes, you kind of get a better sense for how much contrast or how much ink is taking up the page, essentially. And when you're looking at really anything like a composition or a logo or something, you want the negative space to be as like activated as the positive space. Like you want the black to be basically balanced out by the white, and that doesn't necessarily mean one line weight or another, as much as like you make it really small, you make it really big, you squint, and then one of them is going to feel more balanced than not. And then you just sort of say that's intuition or something like that. But that's how I would. It's yeah. I mean, it's just a matter of balance and negative space. That's funny. I didn't actually mean for that to be quite so one-sided. What were you, Jacob? What were you gonna say when it was almost there? You were like, "It's the one that was this one," and then you faded.
You said it was really close, like the one, and then you didn't finish.
Cliffhanger, man.
Well, no. Before you started all this, like where is just the lines?
Oh, you know that it's a good point that I should be. One thing I could
There's
try.
just the question of like that seems to be the closest when it's like the just lines. But it's just like it's like 85%, or like it's missing something, or I don't know.
It's missing an awesome star flare is what it's missing. No, I'm with you. But it is funny.
It kind of is missing that star flare though. That's the funny thing about it.
Or some equivalent maybe.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
I think that also the star thing
There it goes.
kind of helps in giving it some sort of dimension as well, like making it feel a bit more three-dimensional. Do you know what I mean? I think that's also what kind of helps in seeing it as these two kind of rings, concentric rings.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. It's a good reminder. It's true. It looks like a highlight on a sphere, which makes it an object, which I think is the words I was using. Like it objectifies it or something. Which speaks to what I had been saying. Feels like it's lacking, which is kind of a hint or a leg up for the user to look at this with some of the dimensionality that we've been looking at it with.
I wonder if you could play around with the star shape as well, like see what kind of different star shapes we could make.
Yeah, for sure. Or not even necessarily star shapes as much as what are other ways that we can dimensionalize it. How's that for a word?
So what was the issue with the one that you just cut?
What did I cut? I'm sorry.
Oh, that one.
This one by itself?
Yeah.
What's the issue with it?
Like in your view of it?
It's what we've been talking about, which is that I think it is successful up to a point, and it would be nice if we could get it slightly past that point. Because as it stands, it doesn't seem like it's going to communicate quite enough. It just doesn't communicate quite enough.
Yeah.
And it would be nice if it did more. So to me, it's almost like it feels a bit like we're approaching a fallback option, but we're still trying to improve it into something that just has more character, is slightly more lovable on its own by people that don't love minimalism. What's your Twitter? Do you have one?
Union.
Sorry, I keep wanting to do Union.
Protocol?
Union Protocol, I think.
Tappity tap tap. Is my screen going night mode and that's actually a white background, or does that have a slight like rose quality to it?
It's like
Yeah. It's like a peachy, nudie kind of color.
Huh. Oh yeah, that's from the site. I'm sorry, I knew that. And then the blue is its own kind of blue here too. That actually looks really nice.
Yeah, those are two colors at the moment.
My monitor on my new only 1-year-old laptop is like already starts to fade between like, I don't know. I'm actually curious if you guys have noticed it at all, like the switch between what is it? I forget the different light colors, but it's pretty distracting sometimes. What was I gonna do? Oh, I just wanted to see. How this would feel.
I do feel like if it is like this simple though, it could have a thicker line weight as well. I know you'll probably play around with that anyway, but just putting it out there.
Mm-hmm. And maybe color. I don't know. It's like the degree to which I like this depends on how I'm looking at it. One of the things that keeps happening to me is I keep seeing it as an outlined serif font, like a bold Georgia, and then you outline the O, and you get something like this.
I do see it just like in this mode, just like this. That's kind of what I see a lot of, the serif O.
Yeah, which is a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, I'm going. My brain's kind of just bouncing between like how we like the portal and the O. And
that's why again I feel like the filled center piece stops that from happening for me. Like it makes it impossible to see the serif O.
When I get here, I mostly just see like a Sauron thing. That's like giant Big Brother eye.
Yeah, I see that.
And this is just going to be more intense Big Brother eye, isn't it? What if I rotate it?
Can we try the star thing again, or some sort of pattern in that space thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what are the ways that we would denote like make this look more like a floating object, a three-dimensional floating object, or some such would be, we can do a glare. There's a couple different ways to render a glare. We can do a drop shadow, like it's floating. You could do like a grid overlay that has like slight dimensionality to it. I guess that's what we're already. I can't believe I just said that. The line work here. Try and ignore the little gaps there. I think if I do. I think that's cool, but it also gets really generic. This gets weird in a cool way. Equal sign entering the portal. I will try. Oh, I was in the dock. Oh, that reminds me. I've started doing this on. Yeah, boy. Okay, so we want. So the idea. So, are you thinking that you want to do a glare and the filled center, or are those mutually unrelated?
No, they're not really related. It's more like if it's just a simplistic two circles, I think it needs some element to give it like that three-dimensionality. I don't know. I guess that's kind of the way I would describe it.
Yeah. I guess I won't try that one.
Kind of grasp. Right?
If we did this reversed, then I could do a white blur, which I think at least will look cool.
I don't think we want to make the entire thing look like a ball.
Well, not this kind of ball anyway. This is, yeah, that looks goofy, but it's interesting. I mean, it's useful to get it off the list.
Yeah. What about if you like kept the kind of star shape or a different star shape and tried to kind of place it so it's at that angle as well? I don't know. It might be hard to pull off.
If I tried to if I tried to do the star shape at what angle?
Like basically the way that the circle is placed now on the ring, it looks kind of like it's at an angle, like it's up along that circle, if you get me. If you imagine it as a point or a flat circle. Ring, but at an angle rather than being.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
I'm not sure if that's what would. Yeah, no, I'm with you. Let's just try it. I don't have to understand it. I think I can just do. This is, I mean, this isn't good, but this is kind of what you meant, right?
Yeah.
Where it looks like it's going at the same. It's funny. I guess it would have to be. It's kind of kawaii. Let's just go all in on that.
So what's the issue with the world as is? That like just line drawing world?
The one that we're looking at right now, or like go back further so it's even more generic?
Oh no, so like the O is not a world.
So which one are you thinking of then?
So like the ones to the right.
Like these?
Yeah.
Like that?
Like something where like we just go with the global something.
Mm-hmm.
Because something like that, or the ones that are disconnected. So like where it's just the two like fingernails, just below union.
This?
Yeah, like either of those could work, where it's not necessarily like I don't see an O, and we could still make it work with like the little spinner.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I like these less. Like they are less, like a lot less unique. You know.
Yeah. Well, beyond those, the ones that like are the like what did you point my arrow? But like the one up directly above the AT&T.
This guy?
Directly above it.
Right. That's funny. Was that AT&T too? Yeah, it was Bell and then became AT&T, right?
Anyway, yeah, that one is pretty cool.
So like, if you zoom out a bit, where'd it go? Yeah, so like that one, the one with the dotted, and then I thought there was some more up there. And then the one with I don't know where you're going now.
Well, I'm just going everywhere because you were looking for something.
I did. Just in terms of direction. Trying to see what worked. Yeah. And like the one with the stars.
Which one with the stars?
The one that is
that we were just looking
just
at, or
above Able.
I feel like the one like where the circle is horizontal, like the disc is horizontal as opposed to the other way, is like helps a lot with that O issue actually as well. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like that helps a lot with the O situation. That does also actually look, it's like a globe, like a snow globe type thing as well, you know?
Oh right, like it's hemispheric.
Yeah.
It's also, it occurs to me, it's not bad that it has an astronaut vibe, given the Frontier moonshot.
But I do still quite like those smaller stars in there as well. I don't know. I don't know how hot either of you are on the star thing. I obviously still am, but yeah, I think the stars in there are also cool. But this by itself also looks pretty interesting.
This one I just get basketball-y vibes.
You get what vibes?
Basketball.
This is sort of like a choose your own adventure in terms of what you see or don't see. It's like, which sunglasses are we gonna put on at the moment? If we're gonna, I don't know. I mean, the stars will help a bit if we go there.
Yeah. Do you or don't you like the idea of the stars, Jacob? Because I remember you did before.
Well, like flipped.
Nice.
I mean less like aesthetically any of the stars, but more conceptually, like having a star or stars in the logo. Is that a thing you do or you don't? Like,
I mean, I prefer less than more, but like that's the one that looked least like an O.
yeah.
When it was sideways.
Well, I mean more just the stars as themselves, outside of any other concept. Just having that like stars in there, is that something that you do or you don't really like?
I mean, it's not optimal, so I guess not that. I mean, it looks fine. It just doesn't look like, I guess, Union.
What's not optimal about having stars referenced?
Just because it tells you what's behind the door. But like that's also just.
But it also doesn't, because we still don't know what it is, like what all the stars are or what all the things out in space are at the same time. Metaphorically speaking, Jacob, of course.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm. Stars is. I would say stars feel more like journey or frontier or exploration than they do. This isn't. They are the end of the search or the answer to the riddle.
Same.
They're symbolic of going on the journey, not of knowing the answer. So I don't know if that's. Stars seem okay. Like stars hit a lot of our. Like if we can, and also they would make cool little details on a favicon or something, like little pixel dots or something.
Yeah. So again, not opposed, except the ones that make it look like a globe.
You're not opposed, except the ones that make it look like a globe.
Yeah. So like the ones that are kind of flared. because it makes the entire thing look like a globe rather than like two circles with a flat like. Basically, makes it look like.
But I thought the globe thing was one of the things we were trying to do.
So I mean, we can't have a globe and a portal because if it's a door and where like the door is like this, then it's not a globe.
It could be if you want something to be a magical doorway, you might have to pull off some things that don't make complete sense.
It doesn't always have to be literal.
Yeah, I mean, we might just have to like sprinkle fairy dust on it literally in order to give it a sense of this is a doorway and a something. But we can do stars that aren't necessarily in the same one-point perspective as a sphere.
Yeah, like it's much cooler to see like I don't know, it's just like the idea of like opening up a door and seeing like a flat like because when you look through a keyhole you don't really see perspective, you just see like everything kind of flat. So if you were to look through a magical portal, like stars are so far off in the future that you don't really see perspective, you just see all the stars as this like flat plane.
Yeah, no, I'm with it.
But in terms of like layout, like things, it looks much more like a Union logo when it's like this versus like this.
Yeah, but again, it's like a lot of this is like, I guess this kind of work is very literal as well, you know?
I mean, we have to make choices, so just gotta make choices.
This is weird. This is starting to. This has like a vibe of like
Mobius.
Yeah, I don't know if we're seeing the same thing, but it could be. Like, to me, this almost looks like the cellular mitosis thing again, but only on one of the circles. It's almost like a stage of development as opposed to like it's more like I guess a wider picture than the other mitosis one, which was just one stage of it. I guess I'm saying the opposite here. What happened here? Hold on, I just want to.
Yeah, it's I don't think. Oh man, I would be. Biology teacher would be not happy since I don't know this.
If what? Are you forgetting the term or something?
Spindle fibers. Or anaphase was the phase that I was thinking.
This is kind of cool, though, isn't it? I'm liking this.
If I can ever render it. Son of a... Killing me. Sorry, guys. I'll get there. Okay.
Yeah. Anaphase is when your centromeres split, go to different sides of the cell, and then the cell splits.
Hmm. That was a lot of work for a fairly basic effect, but
And would the door have the same notch?
come on. Well, it can.
Oh wait, that's something else.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to try, yeah, let's go more literal with it. I don't know what this wasn't necessarily supposed to mean anything as much as it was implying, whereas this will be more direct, which will be cool. So
Yeah, that's what I was imagining, that where they're all kind of pulling apart.
don't worry, I'll grow it back into. Hold on, I'm just gonna redraw this.
That's different to how I was like imagining it. I was imagining, like, remember earlier you did the version where it was like the two globes kind of intersecting?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
like,
we
kind
actually.
of like that was pulling apart.
Well, we kind of already have that. I can just bring it back over. Oh, you know what? I think I lost it.
The version you're working on now, like.
Yeah, 1 second. I'll try that too. This is weird. It's like backwards. It's like it grows into a single as opposed to the single growing into two. It's kind of cool. It like either it's looking forwards into the past or backwards into the future or something like that in terms of how you would expect the linear growth to happen. Or it's just the narrative of one of the cells where it started as two and then it became one. Either way, that's neat. You're just saying you wanted to see, like,
I meant kind of like exactly what you have, but the inner ones would be less dented, if you know what I mean, because you're looking more straight on. I don't know, it's hard to explain. Kind of like those two intersecting spheres, like before, but just based on the design you had below.
Hold on, now I have to finish this.
Budding yeast bodies.
What's up?
Oh, I just said it looks like a budding yeast body.
That's good, right? Yeah, Liam, I think you're saying that it would... I'm not actually sure, actually. I mean, it's like you would be looking directly down the edge of whatever is sort of like folding outward, fanning outward is what this sort of looks like. In which case, this would get... you wouldn't even see this necessarily. Like, how would the furthest?
That one would be really dented, like more dented than the one beside it, because you're looking side onto it. So it's like this groove the whole way around the center. Do you get me? If you imagine it kind of like that.
Well, yeah, I think I get what you're saying. I think if it were to actually follow like the progression that I feel like I'm seeing here, it would be so dented that it would actually be behind the.
No, because it would be the very side. You'd be looking side on, so you would see the profile of the shape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I think we're saying the same thing. Why? Yeah, I'll do. I don't think I can do that twice, so I'm just going to do it. Is that kind of what you meant?
Kind of. But the two tops still being kind of globes, you know? The top and the bottom section being more spherical.
Yeah, this is like what you're thinking, except it's squished.
Yeah. But anyway, might not work out, so
No, I like it.
Too much time into it.
I'm into this. I'm just catching up with you. And trying to figure out if I'm even capable of rendering. I think.
I just said you made a cocoa bean.
Nice. Did you say someone said you just made a cocoa bean?
Oh, I said you just made a cocoa bean, but I was muted.
Oh.
But it also looks pretty gaudy.
Yeah, it's not quite there, that's for sure. Do you see Jacob, are you down with what we're going for though? Like, do you kind of see what this is implying? I think the way to do it, it's basically just the same thing as before, like you said. It's just that we're doing it along a different axes. Sorry, Liam, it's just taking me a little while to catch up with you, conceptually. So I think we could just. This isn't gonna work, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I think 3 would have worked better, but.
Yeah, I'm not seeing what y'all are going for.
Well, maybe I'll get there yet.
Is it just me, or did the genre really switch up?
What, the music? I'm actually not sure why this is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Diddy.
So like,
I'm surprised
like,
you're
are
not.
you going?
I'm not surprised. I'm surprised you're not into this vibe, Jacob. It seems like it's the kind of symbol, biological, evolutionary perspective thing that you would be into.
So like, it was my same critique of the two globes. Like, it's less about me being into it or not. It's more just it doesn't fit the like the brand, because like one cell combining and being two cells, like, or splitting and becoming two cells. Yeah, so we're more talking about meiosis, and this is more mitosis. So meiosis would be like two things combining to create a third different, unique thing. Whereas this is more just like kind of the Borg thing, where like you have one thing, now you have two things that are the same.
Mm-hmm. This is also just a bit like, in its current form anyway, this looks more like anti-unity, just because it's one thing splitting into two things. I wonder if it would. I wonder how hard it would be to graphically imply the opposite of what it is currently implying. Kind of.
But
Alright,
I
I'll stop.
get what you're saying though, Jacob.
Yeah, like this is a very, very like, if you Google anaphase, you'll see like what I'm saying. Because any biologist will see this and just see spindle fibers.
Most people don't see through a biologist's eyes though.
Or they'll see Spider-Man.
I see what you mean, but I think it's just the biology is just so ingrained in you that you just see it. You would see everything based on that, you know.
Well, it's just like you got this like, I don't know. It's a very biological thing for like to have this like, you know.
It's like a peanut.
You could take the same thing, like if you, when you tilted it, it then made me think of the like, what's it called? Like the poles.
The magnetic poles.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we're still here.
I prefer it as the 90 degrees of this, but you prefer it more like this, Jacob, right?
Yeah, like it's hard to like get across. Like this one just screams like this is it. If we can make it not look like an O without adding too much complexity. And like, I like it because it's just, it's super, super simple. I don't know. Ben looks like he's dying.
No, I'm tense, so my neck hurts. I agree with you. I like this too, and I recognize the challenge, and I'm frustrated that I have yet to solve it. And I'm just sort of looking out into space and rubbing my neck as I think about other ways to do it. That's kind of where I'm at, I guess.
What if we separate it a little bit, like, or maybe like, well, I guess those aren't circles.
What's up?
Because like on the website, it's going to be very, like if we animate it, it'll be very clear.
Yeah, I was wondering if maybe like a motion blur on the inner oval might be cool. But that sounds a little corn. Or just like overexcited for what we're actually going for. I'm trying to do like I'm obviously trying to do some kind of like infinite loop thing. I don't know if I can pull it off though. Depends on what you're. I mean, I don't hate this. It also feels like a car emblem.
Do you know what I don't want to say, but makes that I see now with this?
What's
the,
up?
Oprah browser logo.
The O magazine.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say O Magazine, which is even more damning, because I think it's that one's accurate too. She's got that giant serif, whatever, fat O.
I think it loses the like ring or circle, interconnected circle metaphor with this stuff.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would have. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Also, you just made a Mobius strip,
Yeah, man.
which like I obviously don't mind, but. What was the issue with the two parentheses?
2 bananas.
Yeah, the two bananas, where there was separation.
No, I mean literally, you just kept saying 2 bananas. That was kind of the issue.
Yeah.
I don't think I said it with the. So like that's 2 bananas, yeah, but like that's not the worst thing for it to be. Ooh. So like that. That's not 2 bananas.
You said ooh to that.
That. Like I like that. I don't see the O. I just see like this opening thing. Now I see less of it. So like where there's just like the tiniest of, or thinnest like connector. Like that.
This doesn't feel like anything to me.
Yeah. I don't vibe with this one. I also still do see the serif O like this.
Yeah, true. Unfortunately true.
Yeah, I just see the flipper. Or spinner.
We could add multiple parentheses and then people think you're Jewish. That'd be cool.
What would the multiple parentheses mean?
Oh, it's just like Nazi code for people that like if you type someone's name and then you put parentheses around it, you're saying this person's a Jew. And now it's like a joke. It's like a joke. If you ever see someone on Twitter that puts their own name in parentheses, they're half mocking, half whatever.
Yeah.
Embracing the hate.
I mean can we just zoom way out and see everything?
Hold on, I had. Was there anything in. Those were fun before. We never did
What if-
Olive Branch. And we've got this. Okay. So there's this stuff. So many eons ago.
Neon. The U, which that's a pass. It just looks too much like Uber.
This is still dope.
I don't hate the mirror circles. Clothes. No. But
Kind of cool. Looks like a radioactive symbol a little bit. None of this was really working. Trying to find different ways of adding dimensionality to the behind the door, as opposed to using the center area as the door. Hold please.
That kind of looks cool.
Yeah, 1 second. I can make this better. Make it a little more dense. There's a bunch of ways that you could do that, but we'll do. Please tell me I have these groups. Let's just try that. The rendering isn't quite right.
Can you zoom out a good bit as well, just to see what it looks like?
It's very birdwing, fluttering swan-ish. Flight.
yeah, or like laurels.
Yeah, this does. I forgot about that. This does bring that back, doesn't it? By laurels, you mean the olive branch?
Laurels. Yeah.
Sorry, my language isn't that great. The Prince of Thief has that. Don't
UN
they?
thing.
What's up?
I was just saying, yeah, the UN stuff.
Right. I forgot about that as a reference point for this arrangement. This is neat in as much as it brings back to mind the original thinking around just being purely aspirational. This just looks like, Phoenix and flight type shape, which is kind of cool. Very metaphorical, non-linear to what union. This is basically like victory plus the word union, victory through union.
Yeah.
Which is kind of neat. As it would be if this is the kind of, this would reduce down to something like a pay button, having little Laurel pay button. Laurel is, what would that mean? What does Laurel have to do with group or community, I wonder? Peace? Is that what it implies? I'm maybe confusing it with the olive branch.
You are. Laurels is generally the victor.
Right. Is there... But why would it be... Why would Laurels then be on the UN and the Federation stuff?
Laurels?
Isn't that what it is? Are we talking about the same thing? I think it's got to have multiple meanings.
Yeah, I mean, it is triumphs. So maybe we all win together.
Anyone else got like kind of cheesy vibes from it as well, though?
Did you say cheesy vibes?
Yeah, I definitely get like gamer clan
Right.
vibes.
That's funny. Yeah, dude, these are olive branches. In the UN logo, and that's why they symbolize peace, or at least according to Wikipedia. Or according to the UN. Why did the thing just knock? Did someone get kicked? So I wonder what the relationship is between laurel and olive branch. If there's like different
Well-
types, or
It's definitely a laurel, but it might just be a laurel of olive branches. Because the laurel is that like wreath thing.
Does anyone else get kind of like cheesy vibes from it as well, though? Like,
Yeah, we
pretty
we
I
were-
think it got-
cheesy.
we
I
were
think it
agreeing
got
with you.
Yeah, I actually said it, but I was muted out, and then that's why I had to join because I couldn't get my mic working.
It's funny because we did hear you, and we
Oh,
did.
did you?
Yeah, and we were agreeing with you.
Oh.
Or not necessarily. I don't know if cheesy was really the word, but like gamer, I think came up, and
Yeah. So there is the globe like that. I don't know what are the different shapes and stuff?
You mean
What,
the
this?
multicolor one? I actually think now that we've come back to that, I think that's pretty cool. But I don't know what it means. It's just a very cool symbol, you know?
Well, it's making the world out of different groups, like different things kind of glom together, and then put them all together, and you get a bigger shape type thing. It's like
Yeah.
individual parts make up a whole, but each part being its own group. I don't know.
I don't know. I think it
Unity
looks
through difference. I'm not sure.
It looks kind of dope.
Well, the colors are rough.
Yeah.
Even the colors to me look kind of cool. So I don't know.
I don't think it'll fit though, the vibe.
It looks very. If that actually had a stroke outline, it would look very Mobius-esque. Actually, if it had like a thin black
Clean
stroke.
line. Yeah, I guess whatever we have should have clean line. If we're going down that path.
Not necessarily, because you don't want your logos to be attached to the illustrations, because the illustrations will definitely change over time.
It's not working.
Is it because of the mask for the pillowing effect?
It's not a mask.
Or whatever you did to make the pillowing effect?
Yeah, I mean, it must be, I guess. But I've put strokes on that kind of thing before, so I don't really know. But I have this shape up here anyway.
Yeah, I just meant like those simple globes. Like the black and white one.
This one.
The third one.
Yay?
Yeah, one of those ones.
I feel like it looks too aggressive in that form though. I don't know. It looks very sharp and aggressive in a way.
That's true. It does kind of look like a attack ship.
Like I think the soft edges. I'm a big fan of that. Like the one to the right, the one that you're basically right next to. Like the one you're already playing with, the pillowed shape one.
Yeah, I mean, I like this direction and this, I like these blocks making up a globe. I like in general, I'm attracted to the softness of it. It feels very like contemporary or kind of trendy or futuristic. It seems as though we should be able to get to do that without it being so noisy and busy as that island, that archipelago looking one that we just looked at, or even just as colorful.
So, like, what if this one was just a globe made up of nodes and edges?
You're just saying add nodes to the intersections, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah, cool. I'm going to just finish this first, and then I will do that. Liam, you dying?
Slowly fading.
Sorry, dude.
No, it's so good.
This has been hard.
Is it usually a lot easier than this?
No. Definitely not a lot easier. I would say usually able to get somewhere sooner though, so that we can start applying it to systems and extend it into other stuff more so than we've been able to on this one. We've definitely, yeah, I don't know. Seems like we've had a hard time. I'm not thinking about color yet, but Unity through pancaking. This looks more like a sunrise than I expected. But I do like the relaxed global vibe. Like, it does feel like Union, and it does feel kind of like a planet being reinterpreted as such. But what is it? What is this, like globe without borders? Alright, but you wanted to see...
Nodes on the...
Yeah. I don't think... It's gonna get really noisy if we do...
Yeah, I think so.
If we do it on all of them. So I'm just thinking, what do we want to lose here? Let's try... just doing 2 and 1. Oops. This probably won't work. What do I do? This isn't going to be enough nodes. Although maybe. Hold on. Also, we don't necessarily want all of the lines to be direct corollaries to what a globe might have. Like, if we're trying to make it look like a network, we might have to...
Yeah, mainly I just meant like a network, but it looks like a globe.
Well, then, to some degree, you're just going to get into like a polygon globe, and then it's going to get into pure crypto trope, unless I'm misunderstanding you. Right?
Are there any polygon globes in crypto?
Are there any polygon globes in crypto?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even just Polygon alone, and then looking at something like a Horizon or seeing like open terrain, Ethereum, I mean, just like the Polygon node vibe in general is all over the place. I'm not sure why making it into a sphere would separate it much from other Polygon node explorations.
I don't know of any crypto where their logo looks like a polygon.
Is Ethereum's logo not a polygon?
Or like polygon globe. Well, like Ethereum's logos, I like Ethereum's logo. I'm not sure how they came up with it though.
Yeah, that's a good question.
That is very...
I'm liking this direction right now, though, I have to say. like that.
Cool. Yeah, it's interesting.
I like the fact that they're all nodes and interconnected as well on every
Yeah, true.
ring. Because the way Jacob made that point, except for the outer one, I guess. But yeah,
It's debatable whether the outer ring is even there, you know?
yeah.
So edges can cross. It doesn't mean anything, so that's fine.
I feel like there's something here though. Don't know about you two, but
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like a thing that has more room to be explored because it seems to have there's something going on around for sure. It seems like more than it has to be yet. Like it can be reduced or pushed in a direction yet. Does this get...
So are you actually, this is reminding me of the 3-body problem.
Yeah? Which part? That's cool.
Oh, not the book, if you've read the book.
Oh. What's the 3-body problem that's not the book?
So it's a specific physics problem. So if you have, it'll be faster if you just look up on Wikipedia. It'll have a little GIF.
And is this a good reference for us or a bad reference?
Wikipedia, it's a good reference. Not the novel, though.
No, I know. I was just going to... Where's it disambiguated?
It's on the right there. Disambiguation.
Oh, thank you. This isn't the same thing that...
Oh, this is.
That's so cool. Where cool is a stand-in for a lack of appropriate language.
This also kind of ties back to the one we had where it was just like the 3 circles connected by a line.
Is that something you wanted to see? The 3 circles connected by a line? I'm just trying to remember where that even was. I mean, we have the... I remember 4 circles. Was it with this stuff?
I'm liking the whatchamacallit, the Ada diagram.
Where was that?
Zoom in.
Or was it this stuff?
Yeah, I was just saying that the funny looking one with the variants. That one kind of pops.
Hmm.
That might be a bit too.
What were you thinking on the current?
Yeah, the other one was
around?
the
Like,
Babbage. The Babbage
I think-
stuff.
That one looks pretty sick to me, actually.
Jacob, which Babbage stuff are you trying to pull? Was it back with this stuff, and was it right next to it? Was there something that you wanted me to
it
grab?
was with
or...
the diagram with the. Not sure how to. With the gears.
Yeah.
There it is.
Sorry.
All the way on the left.
Top left. Yeah. I'm with it.
Or mid left. Yeah. I was just saying it kind of reminds me of this stuff.
I mean, it's funny that you have no desire to see multiple planets, because all of these things to me point in that direction, where like these things want to duplicate and imply unity somehow.
No, if there were 3 different planets, I'd be okay with that. One planet being like replicated, like it'd be like going to Mars and just having Earth too. Would be the kind of the vibe of that.
I mean, that's where you take it. Sure, you could also say that it would like replicate and become its own thing in the same way that a kid is born or something. I don't know. That wouldn't necessarily assume that a duplication means exact duplication or boring duplication.
Oh no!
Can we talk about this version here, though?
No, we cannot, Liam.
Because I think that looks pretty cool.
What I was starting to do here was to add detail, of course, but I also wanted to try and maybe get some more node.
I feel like with more nodes, it would be too noisy, though. Like this looks kind of similar to that symbol on the right.
No, well, right. So that's what I'm bringing it back over here now. I'm gonna maybe try some like sprinkle some quirkiness on it, some different line widths or something, and see. Is jumping ahead to Jacob, are you interested in, like, let's just say that this stays to 2 nodes and then we develop interesting relationships between them. Does that relate to the product in a way that you're cool with? Or do we need to have 3 or 4 or not more than 1 edge per node, Like, is this breaking rules for you already that I need to be aware of?
Yeah, you wouldn't have multiple edges between 2 nodes.
Right. What if there were edges of a different trust type or something, Like you might have different relationship availabilities in your settings or something, and it's like, okay, now would you see that more as like the edge just changes character as opposed to a new edge is introduced? Just thinking maybe ways around that. Like if, let's just, like, for instance, that computer club, or Chaos Club or whatever it was called, logo with the multiple cables, I know that you're not only launching, I think, with 1, but as my relationship complexifies or intensifies with someone, could that be, like, more threads or added to the rope and it becomes stronger? Or does it need to be...
It would be a different type of thread.
Does everything need to be like
Literal
and related to science, though?
No.
I feel like that's been like a big bottleneck, It's like trying to make something metaphorical that's also scientifically accurate and consistent.
Well,
it's kind of difficult with
Well, the consistency does allow us to have simplicity.
Yeah, but it does, but also
because
sometimes it's outside of that realm,
Yeah.
I mean, science isn't the only way to get to minimal simplicity.
Yeah.
For what it's worth.
You can definitely take a lot of inspiration from science, for sure.
Metaphor itself is one of the
I really
cleanest...
liked this one at the top that's half cut off now. I don't know.
This top left one to me feels too noisy. Or
Top right? Top
or I'm sorry,
right
to the top left. Sorry. The detailing isn't resolving to me in any kind of way that adds meaning.
Could it be slightly tweaked though to be more symmetrical or something that makes it less noisy, or no?
No, of course it definitely can. But I sort of jumped ahead before I started to work on that because I kind of suspected that it was gonna not jive with Jacob's ability or interest in that direction. So,
well, like
um,
this one. So to me, this one seems like it's a generic physics.
Well, what do you think is going to happen when you keep wanting to reduce things down to scientific truth? Everything winds up getting like nothing. There's no poetry. There's no
poetry.
No, I'm not kidding. Like there is no.
So go to the
like we
the
need.
other one.
You need non-reason to have emotion. Like they're not. And they're both and they're both true. That's the part that gets silly. It's like metaphors are true, science is true. It's okay to do one or the other or both. But what did you want to see? This one was. I
just meant like vibe wise. It looked less like a network and more just like a physics model. Whereas like this one with the 4 dots looks like a network model.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like this one too.
It's also got the like. Well, I mean, it's not strictly like asynchronous. I mean, I do like the Ada one. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of things to like about it. Not to. I mean, it's like, it's quirky, it's organic, it kind of looks like a flower, it's eccentric, it looks sort of, it references something like a Feynman diagram or like that kind of symbolic, electronic alphabet. So it implies intelligence, it implies like decision making, like these dots they're about to interact in a way to yield a new pattern. Like,
I feel like this just looks way too diagram like as opposed to mark like though, you know?
Well, keep in mind, you have full control over this in the sense of it's whatever you want, and it's gonna, if it fits, it works. Like, there's no one's expectations that you're meeting next. Why did I do Rome culture? Rome. Like, if you want your logo, if you want to feel diagrammatic, then make your logo very diagrammatic. Like, it's okay. It doesn't have to look like, a lot of times I'll have clients from Silicon Valley that will be very concerned that their logo doesn't look like a Silicon Valley startup. They're like, this.
Feel like I know obviously this is Jacob's company, right? And obviously he knows what he wants from that.
No, so
it's also like it does still need to have a pretty cool factor to it, you know? And I just don't get a cool vibe from that. I guess that's a big part of what I'm trying to say.
Well,
yeah,
just
so
let me just interject real quick and just say that when it comes to coolness as a topic that I find very interesting, most coolness, like, Rome is not cool, but Rome is definitely cool. Because they're taking off and they're getting funded, and it's like they've got a super dedicated community and they're hot and etc. And the reason that you might be able to argue that they're cool is because cool things have self-confidence. Cool things are themselves. They don't apologize, they just are. That's usually a big part of becoming cool. And so I hear you that it doesn't necessarily, like, something like this does not feel like anything out there that's cool right now. This does not look like something cool. But what would make it cool is to make it yours. Like, if you're like, no, this actually is how we feel and look and etc., then that is going to feel cool because it is very unique and weird. If you do it with confidence, you're going to get the vibe, I think is what I mean, for what that's worth. Cool. You don't get cool. You don't get to cool by looking at what's cool and then copying it. You get like a cargo version of cool, which gets you pretty close. But real things that are cool don't look at cool to be cool. They just are, generally. They're busy doing other things. This actually has like a really weird and interesting vibe right here. it's something about the different line weights to me that is implying something. It's implying something that I think I've already started describing.
Yeah.
How strange.
Though I would, just to completely off topic, like astrolabes are definitely cool.
But I'm also, like, I agree that there's cool stuff. We're saying cool a lot, huh?
Yeah, but
I think
I think
this is interesting. Like, I'm not trying to say to try and move past this either.
yeah, I hate that flat globe looks the best.
You know what would look even cooler is if there were two of them. That would look awesome. It would be so simple and say so much. I don't get it. And that's okay. Technically, you wouldn't. Well, if they can overlap, you don't. I was just gonna say you don't necessarily need all four. This is just going over the top to get to the third.
I would delete the one in front. Yeah.
But now it's all fucked up.
Yeah, they're not nodes.
Yeah.
Well,
You need more than one node. That's something I learned from you, Jacob.
well, like
There we go.
things are cool in threes. Yeah, like
there's no way this is gonna work.
What was that last track?
Summer Dreams by Scream with a K. Sorry, I skipped it if you were into it.
Oh, okay. I don't know if that was the same one, though. I don't imagine Scream doing that music.
Yeah, it's a.
Oh, really?
3 dots.
I've broken the network. I'm just assuming I would be able to fix it with some effort. This is cool. It also feels very familiar.
No, isn't that... You haven't broken the network, I don't think. Have you?
Well, it's not as connected as it was. I guess I could say before it was all three were connected to all three, whereas now it's one of them has an inferior connection, I think, or something like that. It's getting there now. I think it's back. This is fine, you know. It's like it's kind of cool. I wouldn't say it's aspirational. I'm not sure how I would extract an aspiration out of that.
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh. I was like, why don't we have any nodes in the one that we like? And it's because the only place they intersect is at the top and the bottom,
I guess you could just
which is
add
going to look
one
like a piercing or
curve-
something.
If you added one curved center line as well, like to make it into two hemispheres, it would add a bit extra, but wouldn't be too crazy.
You mean like this?
If you only had it on the front though instead,
Oh, yeah.
I wonder what that would be like. Yeah.
But then you have to only... This doesn't make any sense, does it? It would have to be...
Yeah, true.
Boy.
It's a crying child.
Poor
I
kid.
feel you, child. I feel you.
Poor kiddo. What about, just like a more raw, rastered version of the same thing? Or lo-fi.
I just played around with a version here.
Hold up.
That looks interesting.
I think I need to do a different... Did you pay something, Liam?
Yeah, no, I just did something based on the stuff you were doing. But
I guess if we were going to do another one, it would be 3 sides.
Chill.
Oh, that's weird. What happened there? Huh, I don't know what happened. Hold on. I'm starting to stutter here a little bit. I'm just thinking about, I guess I'm starting to think about contingencies. I really just want to keep working on this though until we get it. That's my feeling. But that approach has gotten me in trouble plenty of times. So, I don't know. At some point we're gonna have to make some calls, I guess. I mean, I guess we know what we would do, which is to just zero in on this 00 and then I don't know, maybe play a little bit with what we could do with it for like extending it into other assets, or I'm not sure. What do you guys? What's gonna happen here?
I don't know. Jacob?
I'm muted. Oh, I would
Nice.
just said, what's the question or query?
Well, are you game to just like, keep working until it's done, or are you gonna pull the plug on yourself at some point and just be like, okay, and then I'll just have to run with whatever the closest that we got and do my best version with it and send it out. And if you don't want to approach that truth or reality, then we should start. I don't know. We just need to talk about it because it's getting late, Liam. It's super late. I'm game to keep messing with it, but we've been doing this for a while, and more time isn't necessarily going to solve it. So we might be as far as we're going to get to some degree. So I don't know. Thoughts, commentary, suggestions, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, those ones are. What happened here? Oh. Sure happened. How are you holding up, Liam?
Not gonna lie, pretty tired at this point.
Okay.
It's like closer to 2 a.m. here.
I mean, because I feel like we could have a lot, and like there's a few things that like and like the one path that was probably the most positive, like the only issue is that it looks like an O, which seems like the stupidest blocker.
It is a pretty big. I think that's a bigger blocker than any scientific issues at play.
Well, like, so the scientific stuff, like, honestly, I don't like a lot of them just because they look more like atoms, which doesn't really connect with anything that we want people to feel relating to union. Because, like, no one thinks of, well, most people don't think of physics and think of like, this is a friend that I just met in a coffee shop. I like this friend. I'm happy when I think of physics.
Well, maybe what we can do is
But like the one, I like the ones that are variants of the parentheses.
Right.
The parentheses with that little star, like.
I was gonna sort of switch gears a little bit and try and maybe come back here to some degree, just because I'm empathetic to your attraction. And I feel like we were kind of somewhere interesting here, and they feel related to me, and they're not incompatible with some of the other stuff that we like, which is the parentheses or the. I mean, I guess we're sort of presented with two directions here, which is the ultra minimal. Like, I would say that to me, it's sort of like the only way that this one works is if it's just crazy clean. It feels like the square cache square or the apple, or if we can somehow get this so that it looks like an isometric oval in a circle, then I think we're all like, wow, that's like really nice. The problem is that the O is sort of overshadowing that. So the two options as I see it is like we have this super clean version, which if we could hit it would be. It's like anytime we add something to it, it becomes not super clean and therefore not what we want. That's a problem that maybe is solvable. If we don't have that option, then I would say we also have like this kind of stuff that Jacob's attracted to.
I feel
Which
the former makes a lot of sense. Like there is something there. It's just finding that thing that keeps it clean, but just gives it that little bit extra. I don't know. Because I know, Jacob, you don't think the O thing is big, but
no.
it's
It is big
like,
because like if it looks like an O, we can't do it.
yeah.
But like,
but you said it's not a big blocker, but I think that that is like.
oh no, I said it's a stupid blocker.
Okay. A stupid.
It's a
blocker.
yeah.
But I disagree on that.
Yeah.
well, it's definitely a frustrating blocker. We can all agree on that. Okay, so then how about this? I'll keep working on it. Jacob, I haven't heard from you what you want to do, but let's all agree then that we want this to work. I'll keep working on it.
Yeah. If
it doesn't work out, worst case scenario, I'll send you the best version of this that I have, which is probably almost exactly this in a lot of the formats that I've promised, so that you have it to use and you can test it and all that kind of junk. The other thing that I can do is if I get to one that's like really obviously better, I'll do that one and this one. But then also I'm going to do this anyway, but Liam, I'm guessing you know your way around an Illustrator file and vectors and such. There's no reason that I'll send you a file with a whole bunch of shit in it. You guys will be able to look it over, cherry pick some stuff, try it out, that kind of thing. And ultimately hopefully pick one or improve it to the point where you can use it. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like when you're pitching it like that, what's the direction you're trying to like go?
The direction I'm trying to go is looking for different rendering styles of the same thing. So this is like me recognizing that the shapes are all convex, or I guess depending on how you look at it, concave, and trying to do the inverse, and then seeing what comes out of it.
Just iteration.
I think is all that's happening here. I mean, generally I kind of have a part of my head towards what are interesting lines. What's like interesting line work that we could make between two nodes that would give us something like the Lovelace vibe, but maybe in like a cleaner setting. Like what's basically like a different way to draw a line? Like, does it have to be a straight line between two nodes, or are we going all the way around the globe to get these cool ellipses? So this is just another version of that, just to see what happened.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. I also think it'd probably be beneficial for me to just log off and let you just run with things.
Yeah, cool.
And then if we have something, we'll have something. If not, yeah.
If not, then you'll have a whole bunch of things that were wrong. You'll have 100 ways that the light bulb didn't turn on, or whatever that phrasing is. I'm trying to. Yeah. I wonder if there's a way to even just in terms of rendering this. I wonder if there's a way to bring back like some of that Star Trek diagram interface vibe, where it's like just fattening this stuff up or trying a few colors, or I don't know. I can just stop talking. I know I can figure all this out by myself. In the sense of asking questions isn't necessarily going to yield anything we haven't already gone over.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, cool guys. Sorry we didn't land on something that you were jazzed about. That's frustrating. I think hopefully by tomorrow you'll feel differently. But you can expect to hear from me tonight, or file deliveries on Friday. But I'll hit you up one way or another with like progress. And cross your fingers that I somehow synthesize all of this into something that we're really jazzed about. Because I'm going to be really pissed off if I don't.
Sounds good.
So.
Thanks so much, Ben.
All right. Well,
yeah.
Cool.
Super nice chats.
Yeah. I'll talk to you soon. I'll see you online.
Yeah.
All right.
Just
Ciao, man. Bye.